The survey ship will get over there fast enough. Send that over there. Back to our home world. Oh, the Corvette. Well, actually, this would be even faster. As opposed to surveying, I'm just going to capture the orbital station. When you own an orbital station above a world, the world itself is automatically surveyed right away. So I'm simply going to capture orbital, which means I can tell that survey ship just to cancel its orders. While I'm doing this, I'm going to show off a feature that has no practical game purpose. That if I highlight a unit and I press Control F and then escape to let them go and roll time, the camera will follow the unit. It serves absolutely no practical purpose, but sometimes I just enjoy watching the ship fly through space. It does get hard to tell the motion though once he's further out. I do believe that if I zoom out, it will still follow. Did I lose? Oh, there we go. Yes, no real practical purpose. Sometimes I just enjoy the things we've managed to create. So yeah, we're about 500 days into the campaign at this point. About to do our first invasion. We have a couple of colonies. Oh yeah, we should go back and check this. How are things progressing here? So the industrial complex got built, but we're only about halfway on that power plant. That's what I was mentioning in previously about the build times with colonies. That's been called a bit into question, and so we're going to be reviewing the balance for that in the upcoming updates. And yeah, just waiting for that Corvette to arrive. The Corvette is the first combat ship, but it's not exactly fast moving. So this is one of those moments where I'm like, okay, what else is happening in the galaxy? We should be careful because our survey ship, I'm surprised they haven't captured it. It's got red there. It's very low on energy, so it's about to run out of beams. It doesn't have bullets. I need to jump them out of there before they get captured. And in fact, I want to send them home so that the survey ship that the drone is riding on, so it can refuel. Is it going to get out of there in time? It appears so. Did he get home okay? Yeah, there he is. All right, let's get a bit of fuel for the ship before we jump back out. And that also just becomes a case where I know that I'm going to avoid this system for now until I have a reason to go in there. Because there's only pirates. Same thing over here. Though jumping through the system, I may need to set an FTL beacon because I'm going to have to pass through both those systems. Oh, and this actually has another faction. Who else is there? Yeah, I haven't encountered who that faction is. But they've obviously failed to fight off the pirates and gotten themselves trapped on their world. Interesting. Once my Corvette is done, I might be... once the Corvette is done capturing the pirate station in my home system, I might be willing to go and try and set those ones free. There had been some discussion on the forums about should it be possible for a player to break out on their own. And that's been something that we haven't found an acceptable mechanism for yet. And if people are interested, there's a whole discussion post on the Steam forums. We would definitely love to hear feedback if you guys have additional thoughts. Oops, not the survey drone, the survey ship. Okay, that ship is ready to go out again. What have I not explored yet? Let's... Oh yeah, going this way I move through those pirates. Let's go this way. Still found another faction. Just one, so probably pirates again. Well, let's just keep moving. Trough. What will we find in Trough? So, and let's look back at this. Oh yes, okay. slow time down. So this is another colony that I had started where we've got a habitable world, we've claimed the space above it, and we've claimed the space around the adjacent gas giant. Now if I do right-click build, we have a new option, something we haven't played with before. We researched these energy collectors. So I'm going to build, I guess just 2 for now, because I don't want to overdo it with construction all at once. So this is going to start producing energy for us. Eventually we'll want to claim the world. I may even drop an orbital station above one of these just because I want to do more stuff at space level. I suppose I could drop it around here. And let's switch to being that colony for a second. What do they have in terms of actual stock? So they have 20,000 tons. This is going to need a lot more than 20,000 tons. So as the Empire, because they have an orbital storage, I'm going to right-click and say diplomatic offer. They're my colony, so I have no real concern with just sending them a little bit of ore, because that's going to feed the people. Remember, the silica races eat ore. I'm going to send them a tiny bit of energy, because eventually they're going to have energy production of their own. And finished goods, I'm actually going to send them just about 1 million tons. Because then I know they can get all the construction done that I want them to do. Requesting nothing in return, and I'm going to say go. What I'm also going to do here is switch to the colony controls, and here the governor priorities panel. It actually allows you to manage your entire planet through one pop-up, but there's this option of priorities. I can tell my minister, how do I want it to run this? And I do believe this is going to be an industrial focus. Export finished goods as they get them. Self-sufficiency, research facility. Oh, maybe not. Is this more outposts? Or what's balanced give me? Export energy, export pure science, text. Yeah, I think I like balanced, except I'm going to take out some of the research stuff, which is going to return it back to manual focused. But these focus profiles allow you to set up some quick minister priorities that you can then remove what you don't like. And here on the side, you could add the things if you do want them added back in. One in particular that's going to come up later is in the State Department. We have emigration controls to make population leave and immigration controls to make population arrive. There are actually changes coming to the implementation of both of those. That we were doing some work on that this past week, and that will be part of the next update, which released for the game for Galactic Ruler Enlightenment was just 2 days ago. So it'll probably be maybe a week for our first update to catch some of those initial responses that we've got from players. I'm going to pause for just a second and check the Discord to see if there's been any questions. Somebody asked, since you captured a breathable planet, is there any way whatsoever to force a city to grow? They just stay. Okay. So somebody brought up the distribution of population on the planet, how they move around. We are aware that's something we want to work on further, but we have some things that come first. The first issue we wanted to resolve was the population movement around the immigration-emigration. As I just mentioned, that's coming in the next update. The next thing that we want to do is checking, I guess that probably is the next thing, is now that we have the population moving more effectively between the worlds, we're going to look at the population moving around on the worlds, and that sort of gets into the other balance issue that I mentioned we're exploring around the production times on the worlds. That's some of the stuff. Those are some of our most immediate topics that we're reviewing, that it works right now, but we recognize we can make that balance better. I'm just going to take a moment to reply to that person's question. right. So, continuing with our gameplay here. Right now, there is nobody in this system, but I feel it's dangerous to not drop at least one defense platform here. I'm willing to try and recapture this if I have to, but I want to make sure I never lose control of this. And the one defense platform should be good to guard it for now. Moving back to... Oh, there's one of my drones that I could use. Excellent. Okay. One of these survey ships needs a drone. You can go over there. And then... Oh, we got a bunch of corvettes. Sharks has declared war on the Earthers. Okay, that's probably a pirate faction I had already encountered. Okay, so I have some corvettes that are not busy capturing a pirate orbital station. I'm going to send them over here. And that's two of them. Now, unfortunately, because there's no FTL beacon, each corvette arrives in a random spot, and that was sort of a lousy distribution. That's the advantage of setting up beacons, is that it lets you control where your ships are going to arrive. So one of these must still be charging up its FTL. Yeah. So he'll get there soon. How's that other corvette going who's heading over to the pirate world? Oh, he just arrived. All right, so we now own the space above this planet, and we can see that the emblems here indicate that the green circle indicates our colony's emblem, the small circle is our emblem, and then underneath that we can see that the planet's level is still owned by the pirates. And now if I double click, I can look around. What does this have for agri or energy? Actually, this is a pretty good world. What is the population of this? Oh, right, I don't know what their population is, but I can sort of make some educated guesses. If I look at the population of their cities, maybe 1 million people, between if they've got other stuff. Oh, I like this as a landing point. They have some industrial complexes here, and power. This might be our invasion point, because that also takes us down a road, so our supply will spread. But the real risk is when we arrive, as I'd mentioned before, we won't have any supply to back us up. And the pirates are just going to come at us with their land forces. And we've only brought so much with us. That is somewhat where the engineering ship comes into play, is that I can drop an outpost into the conquered territory to reinforce so that we'll get supplies faster. Okay, I'm going to go ahead with... So, let me talk through what I'm doing here. Select the transport. Control right-click, target world, drop. We're going to drop on these or here. I'm going to drop here. Now he's en route. Now I'm going to bring the engineering ship closer. Go down as soon as this lands. Oh, pause the game. So there's troops coming in. I have to be careful because the spaceships landed on planet are extremely vulnerable to enemy fire. Now also when I changed focus from, let me do it again, from system to planet, because the planet above is owned by a colony, it automatically switches me to a colony. When you start playing the game, the first time that happens, you do get a pop-up asking you which behavior you want, and you can control this in the game options. Where is it? Map? Yeah, the auto colony focus will determine should it stay as the empire or should it switch immediately to the colony. I prefer it this way where it switches on the fly. It isn't always what I want, but it's more often what I want. Now right now I have to switch back to the empire because this belongs not to the colony, so it can't give it orders. And I'm going to again use the control right click and tell it to unload. Now if I roll slow, now everything was blinking red there for a moment because when units disembark from transport, for a moment they are what is considered highly suppressed or panicked. just because they weren't deployed for all that time. They take a moment to get ready again. But as you saw, it was fairly quick. Now, to make sure my ship doesn't get blown up, I'm going to select the transport and tell it to launch back into space. Then let's roll time a bit. Yeah, so these forces, the garrisons, are not well protected by the facility they're in. I will be right back. Just need to mute myself a moment. There we go. I managed not to sneeze right into the microphone. That would have been bad. Alright, now I'll take a couple of the infantry, move them out a little bit. Yeah, I wish I had anti-air, but I haven't researched the anti-air units yet. Oh, there's some artillery behind me. Send you guys out. I have to be careful because these guys only have the amount of supplies they have with them. I need to move one of these water boys. Probably move both of those up. The other option I do have to make sure supply does get maintained is, well, actually two options. One, the transport that I had brought with me, while it sits in orbit, it started reloading its cargo hold with goods. So I can control right-click, drop, and we will just drop the supply spaceship right on top of the troops, and it'll start supplying these ones. The other thing I'm going to do, which is what I'd mentioned, I brought an engineer. I'm going to control right-click, drop. Oh, no, not drop. That's fine. I'll be able to change the order. Control right-click, build outpost. Before I let that roll, I'm going to inspect the terrain. That we can see here right now, while I have conquered all of this terrain, it has 0 supply. And even once I take these facilities, actually let's finish with that. You guys, go over there. So that built the outpost. So I've taken this, but it begins at 0% supply. It will take a bit of time for the supply to build up. And a trick we can even use for that is, because I've taken this territory, it's reset their supply in those locations. I'm going to roll these troops back just 1 hex each. And then that's going to make them move into, because they still are trying to fight me, but when they move into a spot, I disrupted the supply. It takes time to build up again. We can sort of see it if I turn on the supply model. Again, the coloration is a little hard to tell. What if I turned off the units and the unit HUDs? Yeah, that'll help. So the supply level in these locations has color intensity. This one that has changed hands twice now, it has no color intensity because its supply has been flattened. Reminder that supply comes from complexes, certain facilities. It degrades over distance, but you can compensate for that with roads and rails. Okay, let me show my units and HUDs again. Okay, things are moving enough there. I think I'm going to send that transport back into orbit. Always makes me nervous leaving a transport on planet. So many times I've had it hit by artillery and killed. I also don't want to leave this artillery unprotected. I'm going to move them this way. This infantry can check out. There's going to be some garrisons there, but I don't know how much. Actually, can I get these two artillery? Oops. You go here. You go here. Oops. Okay, should be able to capture that without too much trouble. Seem to be holding the line here. Oh, I wonder. Oh, no, that's one of mine, isn't it? Get back behind the line. What are you doing in front of the line? Let's try and push their recon units back. recon unit really got into panic mode there. Okay. Now again, based on that supply model, it's sometimes worthwhile to take a bit of territory without worrying about holding it, because it just disrupts that supply. You see, as soon as a hex changes hands, the supply is immediately reset. There, drops to 0. So as they come back at me, they'll be moving through unsupplied territory as well. And assuming I can hold it, it'll start building in my favor. Okay, you guys can move into that. Let's take that. This is also, now I've taken all this area, they're not going to have supply sources for some of this. I wonder if I can capture that artillery piece. Capture, go there. Because if he's run out of bullets, I should be able to take ownership of it. Why is he moving slow? Oh, no, don't kill it. Capture. I better be careful my units don't run out of bullets. Oh well. Capturing planetary units is tricky, intentionally so. Yeah, I don't like this front line. Okay, I've paused time for a second because I feel like they're about to wrap around me. I better get this transport to drop. Here. There. Let's see if we can get that artillery under protection. Yeah, it's quite drastic. When you run out of bullets, things really stop and can turn bad really quickly. And for early planetary conquests, my approach has definitely been to try and disrupt their supply, make them fight in unsupplied areas. Trying to pocket that guy. There we go. Okay, let's send the transport back into orbit. That supply truck. The water boy should get everything moving. Is he out of goods? No, it's just taking time. Whoop. So some of those reactions was because I have left some of my military initiative on. I haven't put it to absolute none. So there my troops sort of reacted to, oh my goodness, somebody broke through our lines. Okay. Because I'm going to have to leave this planet B, I'm probably going to have to take all these guys. I could turn off the initiative, but I think what I'm just going to do is use their rules and lock them out, so the minister's not allowed to move them around anymore. Okay, you go there. I need to sort of build a line I'm satisfied with for a bit, and then look at other planets. You guys go there. How's that spread out? Alright, that should be good. Okay, so we've got a foothold on the pirate world. I could start using the transport to bring more units here. I could start shifting population here if I wanted, because this colony, what's it at right now? 9,000 people. One of the changes that was made recently to the GR engine was that when... Oh, who's about to die there? When colonies are below a certain population level, as new population arrives, the first million people who live on a colony, the percentage of those people who are part of the military personnel has been increased. Because we noticed that when you tried to develop a colony, you couldn't even get your first military guard units there because you didn't have enough personnel to even put a barracks online. So some balance changes were made to that. I'm pretty happy with what I've seen for changes. I feel like we've dealt with that issue. But it's another of those things we'll be watching for community feedback. Okay. I'm satisfied ignoring that world for a little bit because I had sent 3 corvettes to this system. Where'd they all end up? Okay, you two. I don't want formation, move on. You two go to that one. You go to this one. See if we can discover who it was who got themselves trapped here. Okay, and while you guys are traveling, I had been exploring over here. I want not the survey ship, I want the drone that's on top of it. Turn on AI. And he might get himself killed, but that's fine. I can always build more drones. Oh, speaking of, I should send him home, and then I should actually build more drones. Yeah, because construction queue right now is empty. Let's do 2 corvettes, and then we'll spit out about 5 more drones. How's our research progressing? Oh, we're only less than 20 days from getting escort ships. Then we'll be able to start building escorts and destroyers. So that'll improve our capacity. So what are we finding here? Oh, they're still moving. Yeah, the corvettes really are slow moving. Where else was I exploring? Oh, that drone is going to run out of fuel soon. I should send a survey ship to refuel him. This is in Geokri. Have I got a survey ship that's available? I do. No drone on it? Empty. Excellent. You go there. Where else have we been exploring? Do we still have a drone in this system? No, we took our drone out. Vagabond. So a new pirate faction. Where was that? Oh, you're going to kill me if I let my drone go there. Why don't you research... Oh, actually, yeah. I want to know who else lives here. The Red Ring. This does give me a bit of clue that this is going to be a pirate faction at system level. But these are not. So this should be another faction. Who is this? I want to make a save. I want to check some of that out later. I'm wondering if a colony rebelled against another faction and has sort of broken away from its parent. Oh yeah, back to my home system. That colony we're working on. 400 days. Now maybe this needs more people. Let's try and get a bit more people to this particular colony. Establish... Oh, epitaph. We discovered... Hold that thought about the colony. Let's see who we discovered. Center on. And if we look at the Galactic Report, the epitaph. So they want us again to do the first contact and consulate. Let's get that done. Diplomatic offer. First contact. Send. Okay. And now another diplomatic offer. And the reason that it occurred to me that some people might say, well, why do I have to do first contact and consulate. The reason that both exist is that it is possible to break all your treaties with another faction if you don't get along with them anymore. When you break everything, it removes consulate. But first contact can never go away. That just establishes base communication. But could be times where you do want to get rid of consulate, which is the basic sending of any of the treaties. So it was simply a requirement that we had to break it into 2 pieces. Send consulate. And this is going to start us into the epitaph story, along with everything else we've gotten. Actually, I think now that I know who lives there, I'm going to park the drone out in the middle of nowhere. And I will, the search, find the Stalopter. Investigate the galaxy to discover the Stalopter. Right, okay, so the epitaph and the Stalopter don't like each other. And again, I'll be stuck making a moral choice between the 2 of them. Okay, how are my Corvettes doing? Okay, so that's pirate. I wonder if I can actually capture that. If they've left these somewhat unguarded. Well, let's see. Pausing time. They have a defense platform on there. That's not going to go well. In fact, I'm almost out of bullets already. I'm just going to FTL out of there. Go home, get repaired. What about the other one? Does this have a defense platform? It doesn't. Okay. So I was able to capture this. Oh, and that's a minor race. I recognize the emblem that's underneath there. So we have encountered the epitaph Haitu. Is it? Diplomatic offer. Right-click factions. Well, that's supposed to only give me what's at this planet. Who is this? Thorbats. Yes, this is one of the minor races. That within the galaxy you have all the major races who are moving around and have space travel, but there are a couple minor races as well that you can run into that they have an entirely different... they are simply restricted from getting into the space stuff, but it is possible to still elevate them. I'm just thinking something there. Also watching my time. I have a feeling that this recording has gone on even longer than I had expected. I'm probably not going to play too much longer. We've managed to cover about 600 days in this campaign. We've explored a reasonably large amount of the galaxy. We've encountered some other races, started finding some of their individual objectives. This gives you a bit of an idea how the campaign works. I guess the one thing I haven't really found is... that I haven't been able to show is that every now and then some of these objectives will come with a very specific moral choice, where you have a pop-up that is saying, do you want to do yes, you want to do this for this result, or no, you're going to do this and have this result instead. And that is something that the regular sandbox play for Galactic Ruler has never had. That's new as part of these campaigns. Those Corvettes. I suppose now that I've got a foothold here, this is going to give me defensive positions. Should be able to take out those pirates without too much trouble. But I will have to kill that defense platform, and that could take a while. The Corvettes and anything below that are not very powerful at taking out structures at space, so you end up sort of needing a troop ship behind it to just hammer away at the orbital facilities. I think this might be a good place to break. This has been a long stream. We'll probably cut this up. If you see a few cuts in places, It's probably because I was gone from the screen for 5 minutes to get a drink, or I was writing some of my notes. We'll try and do some minor edits for time, but at the same time, happy to let you guys see some of this. Hope this gives you a bit more insight into what the gameplay is like. I hope that it's interested you enough to check it out and given you clues on how to play it when you do get the game. Reminder that you can catch us on the Steam forums, on our BG forums, and if you enjoy the game, please leave a review. Thanks for watching the stream. I will talk to you guys another time. Bye.